So welcome back to the channel. As you can see, we're outdoors today because in the UK it's spring and we've got a lovely day with blue skies, so I thought we'd come out of the studio and actually record this video outside. So if you're an F1 fan, you may be interested to know that Silverstone, the home of the British Grand Prix, is about 6 miles over that way. So we're actually in the Buckingham in the UK. Now this is the first of the 7 videos where each video is going to look at a catalyst principle in a little bit more detail. So this first one we'll get into and we'll talk about balancing short-term vision with long-term strategy. So as I say, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to tackle that major challenge for architects: balancing short-term project wins with long-term business value when architecting with the catalyst. Now the reality is, certainly in my world and in my career, that most projects focus on delivering immediate business outcomes, hitting deadlines, meeting stakeholder expectations, driving quick wins, meeting budget expectations. But here's the challenge. If we focus only on short term, we're risking creating technical debt that slows down future innovation. So how do we make sure that today's decisions don't become tomorrow's roadblocks? Well, in this video, I'm going to explore how Catalyst promotes big picture thinking, how to balance immediate delivery with long-term strategy, and 3 specific actions that you can take right now to implement this approach. So, in traditional project delivery, like we said, success is often measured by on-time completion and meeting immediate goals. But Catalyst challenges us to think bigger. Instead of just finishing a project, we need to ensure that the decisions that we make today create lasting business value and align with broader organisational goals. Now this can pose significant challenges and requires the architect, in my view, to have people management and persuasion skills, especially when you're faced with a senior manager who may have other pressures such as organisational initiatives, business challenges, or finance issues that drive them to insist on short-term implementations rather than strategic long-term goals. Now you do need to meet those short-term expectations from senior stakeholders, but how do we manage these challenges well before making any major architectural decisions? Well, to do that, we need to ask some questions. How does this solution fit into our long-term strategy? Will it introduce technical debt in the future? And can it be easily extended or integrated with future projects? Now to do this, you use tools like enterprise roadmaps and capability heat maps, which allows us to visualize long-term value and identify solutions that, if they are short-term, do not significantly deviate from the long-term objectives. So the key takeaway from this is that great architecture doesn't just solve today's problems, it lays the foundation for scalability, flexibility, and future innovation. Architects aren't just designers. We're not just designers. We have to be, to a certain extent, people managers and strategic enablers. And our role is to bridge that gap between business vision and technical execution. We need to ask the right questions. Is this decision aligned with organisational vision? Does the solution introduce silos or improve interoperability? Can this be a reusable component for future initiatives? Now, one way we can ease our challenges is to align with business leaders very early and set up regular check-ins with business stakeholders. This will ensure that architectural decisions are mapped to business outcomes. We can also use collaborative tools like architecture roadmaps to create that shared visibility. Now, if you imagine you're designing an API for a new mobile app, a short-term mindset might lead you to a tightly coupled one-off integration. But a long-term approach would advocate for an API-led, reusable service that scales across multiple applications. And thinking ahead means fewer costly reworks down the line. Now, one of the best ways to balance short-term project goals with long-term scalability is through reuse. And you could ask me, well, why is reuse critical? Well, it seems fairly obvious, but it saves development time by leveraging existing components. It reduces maintenance costs by avoiding redundant solutions, and it improves consistency across systems and teams. And we can build that reuse strategy by developing a library of reusable components. And I'm not just talking APIs here, I'm talking APIs, data models and integrations. And then implement a governance model to ensure that teams can easily find and use the reusable assets. Really, really important. Encourage documentation and knowledge sharing to promote adoption. So what have we learned in this video today? 1. Catalyst encourages architects to balance short-term and long-term business value. 2. Success isn't just about project completion, it's about sustainable architecture. And 3. Thinking in terms of an architecture roadmap helps avoid future technical debt. And finally, reuse plays a crucial role in achieving long-term efficiency and scalability. That's the end of this video. If you found it helpful, then please don't forget to give it a like. It does mean a lot to the channel. And if you can find your way to subscribing to the channel, that would be most appreciated, as it does then get the video more recognition and out to a wider audience, and I would very much appreciate it. So that's the end of this video, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one when we'll look at the second principle of Catalyst. Bye for now.